I never thought I'd fall for someone who wasn't even mine. You know that kind of connection that sneaks up on you, soft at first, then suddenly it's everywhere. In your mind, your chest, your phone notifications. That's how it started with Oscar. I met him at the mall 5 years ago while I was pushing my cart down the snacks aisle, debating between chips or granola bars. He kept staring like he'd seen a ghost he wanted to touch. When he finally walked up and asked for my number, his voice shook a little, but his eyes didn't. They were steady, like he already knew what he wanted. And without hesitation, I gave it to him. It felt spontaneous, harmless, but somehow deliberate too. Welcome to Raw Reddit Tales. Subscribe to keep getting the spiciest stories. Back then, we talked a few times, but it never clicked. He wasn't from Atlanta. He'd come down to visit his dad, who had just been transferred here to oversee a company project. We didn't have much in common, and before long, our chats just fizzled out. He probably went back home, wherever that was, and I didn't bother checking. Life kept rolling, and Oscar faded into that random guy I once talked to corner of memory. Then, early this year, fate, or maybe the internet's creepy algorithm, threw him back at me. I was scrolling through Instagram, bored, when his face popped up under people you may know. I followed him without thinking twice. A few minutes later, my phone buzzed. Hey, long time! His message sat there, teasing me like deja vu. I replied instantly, and somehow we picked up like we never stopped. But this time, he was different. More open, funny, almost charming in a way that felt practiced but sincere. He made me laugh, told me about his day, his work, even the songs he played in the shower. Before I knew it, I was waking up to his good morning texts and sleeping to his sweet dreams. He became my favorite notification, my secret routine. He'd ask me to help pick his outfits, send me pictures of his breakfast, update me on every silly detail of his day. I kept telling myself, maybe it's just attention, but deep down I knew I was falling. Hard. I tried to ignore it at first. The way his messages could flip my mood faster than caffeine ever could. Some mornings, I'd wake up smiling at my phone like a teenager, replaying his voice notes just to hear the way he said my name. I told my best friend about him, and she laughed, saying, "Girl, if he hasn't asked you out yet, he's either too scared or too taken." I brushed it off, but the thought stuck. Was I just his digital comfort zone? One night, after a few glasses of wine and too much overthinking, I decided to take my shot. I was tipsy enough to be brave, but sober enough to mean it. I called him, voice low, heart loud. I told him I liked him, that I'd been holding it in for months. I barely finished my sentence before he sighed, then said softly, "I like you too. I really do. I've wanted to say it for a while, but I didn't know if you felt the same." My heart fluttered. Then he added, "It's just, I've never tried long distance before. I don't know how to handle it, but maybe we can see how it goes." That one line, "let's see how it goes," felt like a promise. I smiled so hard my cheeks hurt. We stayed on the phone for hours that night, talking about everything from childhood memories to bucket lists. It felt real. The next morning he texted, "Good morning, beautiful, still thinking about our talk last night." And just like that, we became something. Not official, but not just friends either. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months, and we found a rhythm. He'd send me random pictures of his day, voice notes during his commute, and FaceTime calls that lasted till one of us fell asleep. We had virtual dates, dinner over video, movies synced on Netflix, and those late-night deep talks that make you forget time exists. Then one Friday, he said he'd be coming to Atlanta for a business trip. Finally, I said, unable to hide my excitement. We planned to meet after his meetings, dinner, a little time together, just us. But when the day came, he started acting distant. "Work's crazy," he said. "Back-to-back meetings, baby. Let's plan it right." The way he said baby melted me, even though something in his tone felt off. The first day of his trip, I barely slept. I kept refreshing my phone, checking if he texted. He finally did, late that night, saying, "I just got to the hotel. Long day, but thinking about you." I replied instantly, trying to sound chill. "I hope you get some rest. Maybe tomorrow we could grab coffee?" He left it on scene for hours before replying. "Let's see how my schedule looks, okay?" That was the beginning of the strange energy. Over the next few days, he posted Instagram stories, conference rooms, hotel breakfast buffets, city skylines. No tags, no faces. When I replied to one of them saying, "You're ignoring me now?" he quickly texted, "Never. You know I'm here for work, babe." Babe again. The same word that used to make me blush now made me suspicious. It felt rehearsed, like a reflex. By the third day, I couldn't shake off the restlessness. I texted, "I could come meet you after your meetings. I'll bring you dinner." He replied, "Don't stress yourself, princess. I'll be done late. Let's plan something on my last day, yeah?" That "yeah" was his signature soft closure, gentle but final. I decided to let it go. But the night before his supposed last day, something weird happened. My friend Tasha called, sounding hesitant. "Hey, don't freak out, but I think I just saw your Oscar." I froze. "Where?" I asked, my voice already trembling. "At the Ivy Lounge." I wasn't sure at first, but he was with some girl. They looked close. My heart dropped. I tried to laugh it off. "Maybe it's not him. Maybe you're mistaken." But she described his jacket, the same one I helped him pick online 2 weeks ago. I felt my chest tighten. I opened Instagram, and there it was, a story update. The same lounge lighting, the same background song Tasha mentioned, but this time he wasn't alone. A woman's hand, manicured and familiar, briefly flashed in the frame, holding his drink. I didn't want to believe it. I called him. He didn't pick up. I called again, nothing. Then a text popped up, "Can I call you tomorrow? It's loud here." My hands shook as I typed, "Where are you, Oscar?" He replied with a lie I already knew was one, just grabbing dinner with colleagues. After that night, something shifted. He still called me every day, still said good morning, still sent those half-sweet, half-possessive texts, but there was a distance I couldn't name. He wanted me, that much I knew. But he also didn't want to claim me. It was like he wanted all of me except the responsibility of saying I was his. I kept telling myself he was just scared of the distance. But every time I posted a picture with another guy, even if it was just my cousin or a friend from work, he'd lose it. Who's that? He'd text immediately. You didn't even tell me you were going out. I'd laugh it off, pretending his jealousy didn't thrill me a little. But it did. It made me feel wanted. It made me feel like maybe, despite the distance, he cared more than he said. Once, I posted a boomerang at dinner with friends, just me clinking glasses, and he didn't reply to my messages for a full day. When he finally did, he said, "Looks like you're enjoying yourself. Didn't even notice I was quiet." I asked if he was upset, and he replied, "I'm not upset. I just thought you said you missed me." The irony was brutal. He didn't want a relationship because of distance, yet he acted like a boyfriend every time another man's name appeared near mine. Still, when I suggested making things official, he'd pull back. I told you, I don't know if I can handle that right now. I don't want to disappoint you. One night, I couldn't take it anymore. "You can't keep treating me like your girlfriend when you're scared to call me one," I said during one of our video calls. He looked away, rubbing his forehead like he was tired. "You don't understand, I'm trying to protect both of us. What if it doesn't work? What if it gets messy?" I wanted to scream. Instead, I whispered, "It's already messy." He smiled faintly. "Just trust me, okay? When I'm ready, you'll know." But the waiting was killing me. And the worst part, I didn't even know what I was waiting for. A commitment, a sign, or just for him to finally let me go. Weeks passed, and Oscar's mixed signals started to drain me. One minute he'd text, "I miss you so much, you're my peace," and the next he'd disappear for 2 days without a word. When I'd ask where he'd been, he'd joke, "You're sounding like my girlfriend now," then quickly follow it with, "Relax, I'm just busy." But I wasn't his girlfriend. That was the problem. Still, somehow, he made me feel guilty for expecting consistency. Every time I tried to move on, he'd sense it. It was like he had a radar for my detachment. If I posted a picture in a new dress or commented on another guy's story, my phone would light up. "You trying to make me jealous?" Or, "You know I don't like seeing that." The same man who refused to date me suddenly wanted to control how I breathed. I remember one night, I went out with coworkers for a small get-together, and I posted a group selfie. He called instantly. His tone was calm, but his words cut. "You really out here smiling with men and didn't even tell me?" I snapped, "You're not my boyfriend, Oscar." There was a long pause. Then he said quietly, "But I care about you. Isn't that enough?" I didn't answer, because caring, without commitment, started to feel like cruelty. Then he started dropping hints again about coming back to Atlanta. He said he had unfinished business here, that he wanted to see me properly this time. I wanted to believe him so badly that I ignored how vague everything sounded. He even sent me screenshots of flight bookings, videos of his packed bags, little things that made me think, maybe this time? It's real. But the night before his flight, I noticed something odd. His activity on Instagram. He'd been tagged in a photo by a girl I didn't recognize. Her caption said, "Weekend getaway with my favorite person." I zoomed in, and there he was. Oscar, smiling, wearing the same chain he told me he never took off. My stomach twisted. I confronted him instantly. He read my message and waited 30 minutes before replying. "It's not what you think, she's just a friend." But her next story said otherwise. A short clip of their dinner table with him leaning in to kiss her cheek. I stared at my phone for what felt like hours, the video looping until my chest went numb. His hand on her waist, his smile, that same damn chain glinting under the restaurant light, the one he said he wore for luck. I didn't cry right away. I just sat there, watching the lie unfold, feeling the kind of silence that only heartbreak brings. Then my phone buzzed again. It was him. "I can explain." I almost laughed. "Explain what? That he had a girlfriend all along? That I was his emotional backup plan for when she wasn't available?" I didn't reply. He called again and again until I finally picked up. "It's not what it looks like," he said immediately. "She's my ex. We're just figuring things out." "Figuring things out?" I repeated. "While telling me you missed me? While calling me baby? While planning to see me properly this time?" My voice cracked halfway through, but I didn't care. He stayed silent. Then, with a calmness that made my blood boil, he said, "I didn't mean to hurt you. I just didn't know how to let you go." That was it. The truth hit me. He wanted the attention, the comfort, the idea of me, but not me. Not really. I hung up and blocked him everywhere. Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, gone. But the worst part wasn't losing him. It was realizing how much of myself I'd given to someone who was only half present. Weeks later, I found out through mutual friends that the ex wasn't an ex at all. She was his fiancée. They'd been engaged for months. The business trip, their pre-wedding getaway, the hotel stories, the meetings, all of it. Carefully staged lies. Sometimes I still catch myself scrolling through old chats, wondering if any of it was real. Maybe he loved me in his own broken way. Or maybe I was just another distraction from his guilt. Now, when people ask why I don't date long distance, I smile and say, because love shouldn't need an alibi. The end. Please like and subscribe for more interesting stories like this. What do you think? Was he ever truly in love, or was I just someone he used to fill the quiet spaces in his life?